So the episode in question that I think Elizabeth II, it involved her and a female in the garden. Just look at all of the facts. Like, she never knights a woman, and she pushes the Bible as well. There was something. I think she just probably had a lesbian moment, but her own training is such that she was to consider it something that for which a woman should be killed. So that's my personal opinion, because it's the perfect cover. Like, make it that the males inbreed. Make the males inbreed in the story. Okay. You don't have to have. It is not logically necessary for you to have a reign substantiated on a populace believing in the truth of the Christian Bible. It could be done completely without putting poison into societies everywhere. But what she wants is for you to believe that we're all here because males inbred. Okay, so her moment, that's why I say. So when would you think you will offer a knighthood to a woman? Of all of prominent and intelligible women in Australia, I've found heaps just in Canberra. Each of them wiser than the men that I've known since high school, in particular, encountered it. Why can't why aren't women eligible for these knighthood offers? Knighthood offers. Except Kevin Spacey, the girly one. That was daring. How daring of you, Elizabeth. I snort pregabalin powder because so I don't have to smell it. It's over here. You get the capsule and then pop them onto. Oh. So yeah. There is no valid indemnity between me and any Australian. That's something I was not wanting to disclose. Recent events have made it necessary. The Celebritarian Corporation have all rights and privileges to file as their acts have constituted guardianship for me vastly more so than any other agency or person or individual or business. Capital Chemist chain, I want them bombed, I want them beaten, raped and murdered. Just Gary Cairns and Roger Toll. Cassandra Smith can decide if she wants to fuck them for promotions, and then you can be left watching her kind of hip grind their corpses. That would be beautiful to see. I'd love to see that before I die. But there is no indemnity between me and the Capital Chemist Group. There is no trust between me and a single one of them. They are contemptible to me, each of them. And I'm a mask when ever in their presence. I imagine in the event of my death there would be an onset of my mum going, no, but I did so much for him. I told him to download, to pirate. I did it all. No, you didn't. No, she didn't. Nor has her partner. In fact, my mother is guilty of subverting my own rights to address a legal matter in the courts. And she'll say, oh, I didn't know psychosis meant you committed a crime in a dissociative state because of the use of street drugs or the misuse of prescription drugs. When do they define? After the fact, they define what misuse is. So the Capital Chemist Group is one that is absolutely guilty of false indemnity, and the Celebritarian Corporation already has all my permission to bomb them with as many lawsuits as possible in the event of my death, without the country sending me where I need to be sent for due rights of legal contest. So I get myself aborted from here now. I don't want to come to this. Yeah, Dr. Seuss is a wiser book than the Bible, The Cat in the Hat. I have many tricks at The Cat in the Hat. A lot of new tricks, and I'll show them to you. Your mother will not mind that if I do. Yeah, that's wiser than in the beginning, God. Another that interesting story is the official removal of the charge of heresy named against Galileo. It says something fascinating about the operations of the church. You can die and be a heretic, called a heretic till you're dead, and then the church, in all their wisdom, the year that David Bowie marries a black woman, it's Migsy down there. I can smell your cunt, Elizabeth. The year he marries a black woman, the Vatican decided to say, oh, let's drop the heresy charge on Galileo. See, because the contention he was dealing with in his day was that everyone, in the common tongue, everyone thought that the Earth was at the exact center of the universe, like a baby's cradle, placed, in the center. And Galileo was like, look, I've done all these measurements, check it out, check this, check that. And they went, fuck you, Galileo, you're a fucking heretic. You're a fucking heretic, man. We're going back to our gardens to finger our cousins. And, yeah, so Galileo died having actually been correct, but was called a heretic, and then they dropped the charges of heresy on him in the 1990s. Well, do you think when has he received notification of this dropping of heresy charges? How did you let him know? Did you tell him? Vatican. Nope. My response to the question that Queen Elizabeth II posed, to what greater source of inspiration can we turn to than the imperishable truths to be found in that treasure house called the Holy Bible? Atheism, the Case Against God by George H. Smith. According to the logistics of what you've taught of human origins, it's like as if Queen Elizabeth Alexandra Mary II, she did some shit in the garden and she could never squirt like Cytherea, so she brought the Holy Bible and invented pedophilia. Her Majesty. Whoa. Fucking note Doe why she's too stupid to deal with Roger at all. Those that have had near life experiences, he's fucking Zappo onto them. Zappo. And tries to make them friends with Sarah from Bellum. Killing in the name of useless bitch. Yeah, so the answer to her question is, well, your book is about believing you are inbred and therefore psychopathically disposed, favoring the murder of bisexuals. That's your Bible. Tell me otherwise. Tell me why I'm wrong. I'll debate you anyway. You probably know a bit about me in debating by now. Ciao. Probably by March 2010. Can you send me to America in March 2010? I have little respect left for authorities in Australia. I see you running on the line, the shadow of Aboriginal grave robbing. But thanks to racial equality, you can grave rob white people too. Because we're all equal. Yeah, so what Roger told us after he fucks up when he researches, because the guy's a fuck up. I mean, do facial profiling, interview him, he's a fuck up. I worked for him for 10 years, fuck up. Okay, I know a fuck up when I see one. And that, so, some Melita, I guess it's probably because of Roger that I didn't even wind up doing, I couldn't do DJing for Melita's birthday. Because then if I became better friends with Melita, I'd probably have more encounters with Roger. So it's not her fault. And most people in the group talk about her tits, but I know with Roger it's got to be that eyeball of hers that he looks into, the slightly wonky eye. And it makes him feel a bit better because of what he does to people. It comforts him. So Melita, in that sense, has a lot to offer the group. That's why she appears in public photos. I was printed a photo of me without being asked, and after being declared insane. So there's a book about Hughes that I'll be unfortunately filing lawsuits. Printing my photo without my permission. after calling me insane due to video. And then they print my photo without asking. Yes, that will get you sued. Studio. Sorry to say that I think even the Queen's mind for rule of law is pitiful, and she would rather be doing in Bible mode than be the queen of a cunt and a tree. That's what I think. She in particular, if you imagine to impose this, like, there'd be ways to devise how your sovereignty is justified in the minds of a populace, rather than imposing upon them the story that they were inbred from a garden. It makes me think Elizabeth Alexandra Mary actually did something in the garden, like when she was quite possibly young. You know, you think of her putting up and then taking down the Rolf Harris painting in Buckingham, and you go, yep, look at you. Bless her, silly old cow. I don't want to use that Migsy line from Silence of the Lambs. And I can smell your cunt. That's why I don't tolerate Bibles in my apartment for readings. They're for snorting drugs off the cover, and they're for burning, and they're for ripping up. I've said, here's what you're doing. You're telling everyone to be inbred, psycho-aggressed towards and disposed towards the mass murder of bisexuals. That's what your Bible is doing. If you want to debate me, I'll do it in public view. What about you? What about you, cunt? So I'm waiting to get out of here. I very infrequently masturbate. I think, yeah, someone in her own day, like, she probably knew someone fucking way hotter, cooler, and cluier that she could ever comprehend. A woman, I suspect, and it drives her fucking nuts. It's obviously it's time contradictory to mention Cytherea. It just that it rhymes. You know, that Elizabeth Alexandra Mary could not squirt within any comparable range to that of Cytherea, so she brought the Holy Bible into the UK and Australia and invented pedophilia. That's also what her Garden of Eden is. Kids, fucking kids. How did Adam and Eve's kids? Bless her, silly old cow. Sorry, I need to watch Austin Powers again soon. This is a man. This is a man. Elizabeth Alexandra Manley the second. So the Christian media in some and Fox network, like, you can see the formula. If you invest in the belief in the Bible and trust in the Bible, what they tend to do is take the oldest. Churches will take the oldest gospel. No, sorry, the most recent gospel. So the one written more after the fact than any other, and represent the implications of its narratives on signage first. You know, he loved you so much he spread his arms out and died, which is what 95 AD had done. Like, just ask yourself, would a king and queen keep a historical record that dishonored themselves at a time when you've seen our queen fail to raise the flag in acknowledge of Diana's death, unless she gets a mass protest first? That can't raise the flag. You can't raise the fucking flag. Like, she needs to be told. So if that's how things are happening in our generation, skip back 2,000 years. A king and queen murder an innocent man who just loved people, and it brought dishonor upon them. So do they write and admit to that dishonor? No. She doesn't even want to raise the flag now.
Really?
So why the fuck do you think she would then? So why the fuck do you believe in the Gospel of John? So why the fuck don't you understand that the Gospel of John was written in concealment of the details in Matthew and Mark, and that Matthew and Luke, and that Matthew and Luke were written in concealment of the details in the Gospel of Mark, and that the Gospel of Mark is itself also questionable, even studied in complete isolation, but that it does point to a ransom just put up at nomination of a king for the kidnap and abduction of a non-violent and innocent person, to be abducted, suicided up a hill, and then rapey murdered to a cross, and who didn't even claim to be the king of the Jews. He made no challenge to royalty. See, I'm not. You could challenge them on religious grounds, because they'll discriminate with them as soon as they. As soon as you go, oh, it's okay, I respect that you're religious. They go, oh, cool. Can we inbreed with you as kids in our heads and in our garden? Like, fuck off. Fuck the fuck off. That's one thing I like about where I live now, is that there's really no garden. But she does not respect rule of law. Fucking a 10-year count. A 10-year count from a criminal move by a company. And the fucking old slag won't send me to the States. I'm about to destroy my own citizenship here, so that it is officially known that I'm foreign to the country of Australia. Like, I rebuke my own citizenship. Fucking inbred apple slut. Come out, Elizabeth. So yeah, it's the implications of the narrative. The logical implications of the narrative. It's what it's called in terms of logic. It's logically necessary that the offspring of Adam and Eve inbred either with Eve, where you're saying she had two sons, and one son murdered the other, so that left Adam, Eve, and Cain. Then Cain could have had to have impregnated Eve, his own mother, So don't you want us to love you, Queen Elizabeth II? You want us to love you by making our sex sick. Well, I submit you did something in the garden of which you are forever embarrassed about. What was it? It's good for your wrinkles if you bear these things out. Be factual. You don't have to buy oil of Olay. Oil of Yulan. So it's what gets drummed into their head that hammers against the emotional nerve center of the brain, and drugs will do it too. Only drugs will do it without you having to logically compromise or morally compromise your values. And these values come from sick stories. Sick stories with sick implications. So it's vampires I find more attractive. I would love to be a vampire. But when you watch my mother talk about my father, and she goes, "Oh, he stabbed me, but he was such a drunk. He would drink and drink and drink." I'm like, "Oh, but don't you drink the blood of a murdered man to renew your life every Sunday?" And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I suppose I do." Stop saying it was alcohol then, you stupid fucking idiot. I'm at your guard, but you're fucking pushing the fucking friendship. Wake the fuck up. Christianity broke this family. And it will be admitted that Christianity broke this fucking family if I have to drag Michael Szabo by the pubis on his head into a fucking courtroom. So once again, it's you can't accept the Genesis creation story to be true without believing that the creation of the image of God involved the statement, practice inbreeding, practice incest now. Now. Incest now. Incest now. Do it. Incest now. There's no way to believe it otherwise. So either Cain... See, once again, if Cain, who murdered Abel, did not reproduce with Eve, and Adam had more children with Eve, then the two of them didn't... I mean, they didn't have their son fucking impregnate their mother. Then you were left still with the problem of, well, what did the proliferating children of Adam and Eve do so that we could be here today? Oh, well, those kids fucked each other. Oh, well, thanks. There's you invented pedophiles. Wow, Queen. Wow. All those foreign wars, and you've invented pedophiles here on our home turf. So, what do these inbred sickos do? Well, they need to seek relief from being themselves. Mass escapism needed. So, the exact opposite at heart of a inbred fucking moron, I submit to you, would have been a non-inbred bisexual who was naturally intuitive and a member of the community random. So if you took that Bible out of everyone's heads and they fought against it, you would not have these write-ups saying, "Oh, the bisexual community seem prone to mass suicide, depression, and all these problems," and because you can't saying, "Oh, excuse me." Yeah, sorry. So as I was saying, you can ask yourself the question: how many clit hoods has the Queen given offered out to? Yeah. How many knighthoods has the Queen given to women? Uh, and you know, you got lobbyists not wanting evolution fucking taught in schools, which makes me want to blow up schools. They already have had an impact enough because, you know, the whole oh, you just evolved from monkeys, you know, it's not elaborated on enough. Even the principle of all life having a common ancestor, and stars dying, stars in space dying and or colliding with puddles where monkeys were fucking in swamps, and they start to get more sentient. And someone had to invent braces because teeth were very poorly evolved. But yeah, the Queen hasn't given clit hoods out to many women. I don't think. Actually, I can't think of any. I'm sorry. I think knighthoods. That's with KNI. Kevin Spacey is the closest to a girl that the Queen has knighted, I would say, out of my reading of the list. But yeah, it's not too big on acknowledging women. You know, the thing to think that you don't get told in school, but you should think about from evolution, is that for all offspring to grow, the alpha male would have to go out and hunt and gather, while the young were incapable of assisting in the tasks. It's not like fetuses came out and suddenly went Donkey Kong on branches and collected food. They'd have spent years learning basic moves and been nurtured by what could have only been the women in those tribes. And how much of a mention does that get? Well, not much, because a cunt apparently ate an apple in a garden, and it was like a nuclear bomb warhead going off on the surface of the planet. It was fucking disgraceful. You should read about it here in this Bible that you can find in every court and every AFP facilitator. Or just being in your presence is a violation of the Religious Discrimination Act. As I was listening, how can you fucking deal with yourself using this ancient feral book that's disgusting? It had a book in it called Bel and the Dragon. Everyone look up Bel, B-E-L, and the Dragon. It was a book of the Bible that was a few generations ago ripped out of the biblical canon because it's a story about a kid and a fucking dragon. So someone at this point went, whoa, dragons are made up though in medieval folklore. Huh? And so, you know, they pulled that one out while leaving the statement in Revelation, let not a single word be added nor removed from this ensemble of biblical excellence. Whoop, where'd first, second Maccabees and Bel and the Dragon go? Tra la 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 la. They'll update it as soon as it's even not believable to its own committee. So it's not the word of God. It's not the word of dog. Though you'll be closer to thinking like a dog for believing in it than a human, by my count. Yeah, it was good to sit and debate a Christian. I was going to ask him, may I film this? Do you mind if I film this? But I sense that he would have felt like he'd been sort of set up, because I'm quite enthusiastic about looking at and describing the ways in which, because of belief in the Bible, there are problems in society that go on misdescribed, and that this is contrary to the principle of the basic 4 rights of the Charter to life, health, movement, and expression. So, anyway. I do hope in the future Queen Elizabeth Alexandra Mary II does decide to offer a klithood to a woman of wise repute, a knighthood. Elizabeth, I said knighthood. Okay then, bye now. I will level with you again and say that the value of any compliment, prospectively from the Queen to me, is as meaningful as the lower grumblings of the lower bowel and intestinal tract of an oncoming stool of liquid diarrhea. But that is irrelevant to the principle of law, and of basic human rights and legal rights. And she has folded her hand concerning the rule of law, so I'm folding my citizenship in this country, and I'm folding her feral fucking religion at the same time. Do enjoy the show. Capital Chemist Delenda est. I quote Dr. Seuss. I have many tricks, said the cat in the hat. A lot of new tricks, and I'll show them to you. Your mother will not mind at all if I do. So let it be officially known, in the event of my impending and soon coming death, that my indemnity has been long since gestured to the Celebritarian Corporation. Anyone who wants to start up a sequence of lawsuits upon my bones, including my entire family, or those listed or claiming to be my family or closest friends, are liable, therefore, by my decree to the Celebritarian Corporation, to be sued for false indemnity and other progressive charges at the discretion of the Celebritarian Corporation. Fuck you. It's like Scott Morrison couldn't even let Australia burn properly. I mean, it burnt, but why couldn't you? I want downloadable suicide. Pufta. Hawaii Pufta.